This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing. Today we start the second half of the season, and we don't know much more about who will become champion than we did before the season started. There have been 5 different winners in 6 races, with Mark Usher being the only driver to win multiple times, doing so twice. But Usher has only raced twice, and unless the Englishman's attendance is flawless from here on out, odds are small he'll wear the crown. Victor Prado and Daniel Benefield each have a win, but they're in worse shape than Usher, having only raced once. That leaves single-time winners Matt Wood and Antonio Poveda. And when you look at their entire season, the Spaniard Poveda appears to be in the best position for the title. Then there is Poveda's countrymate Xavi Ross, who while still winless is always fast. And let's not forget Mr. Consistent Thomas Seeger from Germany currently holds a 141-point lead over in the raw points despite finishing no better than 4th this season. So, as you can see, we indeed do not know much more than we did before we started. The second half of the batteries not included 2019 Spring Season Championship kicks off today as the schedule makes a round 7 stop at Silverstone. And you can see all the simulated Williams FW31 action from green flag to victory donuts live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing channel via the iRacing Esports Network. Hello everyone and welcome. Up in the booth to bring you our Word's Eye view, Stefan Slocker, joined by yours truly, Bill Soups On. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Stefan, there are a few tracks on the iRacing platform where the configuration means as much as location. When I see Silverstone on the schedule, my first question is, which version?
Soup, the drivers will take their FW31s to the Grand Prix layout today. The old Grand Prix, not the historic one, to avoid confusion. As everyone has already heard about 100 million times, these 3.2 miles are the birthplace of Formula 1 racing. 17 turns in total, which offer incredible flow, speed, and they always love the bridge turn. Silverstone is regarded as one of the hardest tracks on iRacing, as cars are hard to set up and the challenges are plentiful. The best way to show you these challenges firsthand is the lap guide. Thus, let us take you on board with our GSRC lap guide.
Alright, we've got Clayton McLeod in the GSRC Williams, so let's do a lap around Silverstone. Coming down to Copse, there's no brakes involved here, just a lift, point it to the apex, and power through. From there, you don't need to pull it all the way across to set up for the Maggots-Beckett sequence like you do in most cars. You can keep it flat easily up into the 3rd apex where you gotta start blowing the car up. The one thing that stays the same in the F1 car though is the importance of lining up the run onto the hanger straight. Not carrying your speed onto this long stretch will put you at a severe disadvantage and might just cause your opponent to try and overtake you into stow. But despite the heavy braking, this is still a wide, sweeping corner. The rise will make it tough, but get back on the throttle as soon as you know the car will stick. Then there's the braking for Vale. On occasion, surprise attacks work into here. What's important is keeping from overcooking the entry into Club. Even though it's paved all the way around the outside, there is definitely a faster line by tucking it in tight to the curb. After that, you're quickly approaching the Abbey Chicane, where you're likely to see pass attempts as well. Keep in mind that the second apex is more open than the first, so a good exit will make a big difference. It's foot to the floor all through bridge, and then your last good chance for a pass is in the braking for Priory. This begins the slow technical section of the lap, where it's mostly single-file racing. The transition from Brooklands to Luffield might see some variety in lines as drivers suss out this back and forth. But whatever they do, giving yourself a clear shot off the hairpin is the most ideal way to wrap things up. No lifting through Woodcote, and then hopefully you've now finished a lap around Silverstone.
A big thank you to Joe Peak for taking us around Silverstone. And now let me go ahead and take you around the points. Now, to help the viewers understand the championship race, GSRC is going to do something unique. We are showing both the raw point standings and the drop or net point standings, and depending on your religion, the point leader is very much a philosophical question. If only the raw points are considered, what you've earned is what you get. Germany's Thomas Seeger, well, would appear to be in dominant position here. He's shown up for every race, and while finishing no better than 4th, he's finished no worse than 11th. The pair of Spain drivers there, Xavi Ross and Kevin Jimenez, each are 140 points back, with San Filippo boys rounding out the overlay. All right, but when we turn our attention to the drop standings, keep in mind that Seeger will not be able to score all the points he's earned. In fact, 4 of those results, currently in 11th, 6th, and a pair of 5ths, will indeed not count. You have to figure Antonio Poveda, who does not even appear on the raw standings, is in the best position right now. Mark Usher is tied with Poveda, but see that 0 by the droplet by his name there? That droplet shows the driver's highest drop score, and that 0 means Usher has already burned all of his drop insurance. Xavi Ross and Marco Sanfilippo are the only drivers to appear on both the raw and top 5, drop top 5 standings. All right, now for something a little less convoluted, how about we go to the race details?
And yeah, as already mentioned, we are here on the first race of the second half, or round 7 if you will. Also already mentioned 4 drop weeks will be accounted for these guys. Today's race length, 39 laps. They need to do 1 pit stop, and that will be the focus today, because pit speed 45 miles per hour, very slow and very long pit road on top of that. Setups obviously completely open for this season, and they can tinker away as much as they want and have to, because as already mentioned, once again, very hard to set up cars here. Incident limit standard for iRacing 17, and the points they use for the private championship, that is BNI, they use the official iRacing points.
And let's take a quick look at the weather, Steph, and see how that's going to play a factor.
Well, the weather is rather interesting today. Very hot track, 100 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy weather, 74 in the air. The wind, very interesting yet again, 12 miles per hour from the southwest, so they're really gonna struggle through the fast turns here, especially Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel. That's gonna be one heck of a challenge for these guys with that added wind. The humidity 53% and not a problem at all, but we really have to look out for the tires and the behavior of the cars through the fast turns.
And of course, this is a GSRC production, streaming your way on IESN. The best of the best in the iRacing World Championship, as well as many top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, make sure that you subscribe. GSRC is proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters. With all of our bookwork out of the way, we can get down to the action on track, qualifying happening right now, and Xavi Ross is our leader.
Yeah, I think he is done with his laps, as he's very slow, probably doing some practice starts right now. Antonio Ortiz Poveda, he's coming into the last few turns, and as already mentioned, he is your drop points leader at the moment, as Mark Usher goes into second place with a 20.2.
We talked about Mark Usher. He's raced twice. He has won twice. He's undefeated, but of course there are 4 no-shows. We talked about him to be a threat for the championship. He really needs to be perfect, or at least close to perfect, as attendance goes the back half of the season. 14 drivers here in our event, as we did have a split, so we have a small field.
Yeah, and the lap you just saw from Thomas Knoll, it got him up to 7th place with a 20.6. He did improve on that one, as Erwan Woodstra goes over the line with a 23.1.
Right on with here's Serpa.
Before mentioned Ortiz Poveda, he's still on his first time lap. But Jose Serpa is gonna go over the line first.
Serpa currently sitting in 5th right now. Poveda, very important that he gets a time in. Remember, he's very close to the championship. He's just, I don't think we have to worry about it. He's just slow getting it in. Working through Luffield right now, heading up. The start-finish line will be in front of him. We'll see what time he can get.
Yeah, and Poveda is a bit in the luck as the track temperature did drop a little bit in the last few minutes.
There you go.
And he goes up to 3rd place, just 100th behind Mark Usher, but he has the chance to put in one more lap, I think. Or actually might not be able to because there's only 1 minute left.
Both the San Filippo boys are here today, Marco and Danilo. We talked about Xavi Ross and Mark Usher, a pair of big names. Thomas Seeger is here. Big name that is missing is Kevin Jimenez, missing from our standings, not making an appearance today, but that's why God may drop races. There you see Poveda.
Yeah, and Poveda will not be able to make this lap count because there's only 20 seconds left, and he's now going to finish this lap in under 20 seconds.
Little cross-pollination going on. We all like to see this. A driver named Scott Bolster racing in the number 14 machine, coming over from the Lionheart Series. Going to show up and race here with us on this Sunday. Good to see him here. And with that done, I believe qualifying is done. Let's go to the grid right now. It's a small grid. Let's take it a row at a time. Xavi Ross on the front row. He's going to be flanked by Mark Usher. Stefan?
Antonio Ortiz Poveda leads row 2 with Marcus Sanfilippo alongside him.
Mr. Consistency, Thomas Seeger, sitting in the 5th position with Danilo Sanfilippo outside of him.
Jose Serpa sits in 7th place. Alongside him will be the car of Thomas Knoll.
I am Keeman in the 9th spot. Watch out for him. He's sneaky fast. We've seen him race before. David Cudmore is in 10th.
Lars Hang, the 11 car, sits in 11th place, and Scott Bolster from a Lionheart Racing Series, he is in 12th.
Erwin Woodstra in the Baker's Dozen position, and Esteverson Olivia in the 14th position. All right, 14 cars go to the grid. Xavi Ross will be in the preferred position. We start the second half of the season. 6 under behind us, 6 to go. Good day to go racing. Remember, Mark Usher so far is undefeated this season. 2 for 2 in both the races he's entered. Can he make it 3 for 3? Usher, a legitimate threat for the championship if he can attend regularly. We ride off the back of Xavi Ross, looking back at the entire field. The engines begin to harmonize. Gather up the chickens, take cover on the cows, the horses are out of the barn. And it is the Spaniard, Xavi Ross, leading the Englishman Mark Usher into the first corner. Sanfilippo, and Sager in the 5th spot.
And Ortiz Poveda with a horrific start. They're dropping about 4-5 positions off the starting grid, dropping from 3rd all the way down to about 7th.
Yeah, actually, I believe he is in 9th, really, when I look at it here, chasing Serpa and Keeman, so he'll have some work to do.
So even worse, but
up front
is going for the lead right now. We're on the outside here at Vale. That's never going to happen for the now outside Xavi Ross. But he has the better grip here and longer straight. Let's see if he can make it happen. Whoa!
Oh! They head down into Abbey. Usher in the preferred spot. Boy, working really hard as Xavi Ross. That's going to open the door for Marco Sanfilippo, who's loose. Almost gets collected by Danilo Sanfilippo. He gets by, as does Thomas Seeger. Marco back into 5th. Serpa on the inside of Knoll as they go battling for what would be, I guess, 7th position. The white car of Serpa gets the best of that one for now. We ride on board with Serpa. Boy, the racing is intense. Making a mistake through one was Thomas Ziegler. He's going to lose a position, I think. He makes contact. The German driver is off into the grass. He comes back onto the track, taking evasive action. We're 2 drivers. They will get slowdown penalties. And now spinning after coming back onto the grass is Antonio Pavetta. Pavetta had quite an escapade through the English countryside to avoid Ziegler.
How did that not end worse than it did? I do not know.
Okay, we're going to look at this replay. We'll take 2 looks at it. First, we'll watch Ziegler going off track. This started way back in corner number 1. And then you'll see Pavetta just go as far away as... Ziegler's going to come back, but Pavetta sees it coming. He just exits stage right.
Yeah, and Serpa was quite lucky there. As you can see, Ziegler lost his rear wing from the contact with Serpa, but Serpa's car completely unaffected from that touch.
And then if we have time, action is good right now. Let's take one more look at it from Pavetta's point of view. Up front, nothing going on. Is Usher ahead of Ruiz. We'll take it one more time from Pavetta. Serpa really didn't show us much. Here we go. As we look at Pavetta. Now watch him go this way. Now stay with it, because when he comes back out onto the tarmac, he catches the bump, he turns around, and they avoid him again. Nice job, boy. What a mess. Meanwhile, Usher starting to drive away. We look at Pavetta, who is racing well back now in what would be 11th position. Boy, he had that bad start, Stefan, and now he had that mistake. He's got some work to do. Now we go to our leader, Mark Usher, with a 1 second lead over Xavi Ross. So what's happened behind them? It's Danilo Sanfilippo and Marco Sanfilippo. Then you go back to 5th, Thomas Knoll in that battle with Serpa.
Usher with a big mistake there through the left-hander, the chicane before bridge, and that allowed Xavi Ross to come back at Usher. And I have to say one thing, I honestly didn't think that Ross is going to be able to stay side by side with Usher when Usher did do the overtake for turn 1 through Whale and Club. So really good car, it seems like, for Xavi Ross at the beginning.
Yeah, that was some really tight racing up front early. Ross doing a good job of staying with Usher, though, right now. I can report that I Am Keeman had a spin of about a half a lap ago. He loses a few positions, back on track racing. Nothing really we need to look at. It happened out of the final corner. We're going to go to Pavetta, who's trying to make a move through the field. He's got Oliveira behind him. He's going to leave. He's going to leave Oliveira behind.
Yeah, and Pavetta already did the overtake. Actually, Oliveira did leave, let him bite a little bit. Did go off the throttle over the start-finish line, so nothing very important there. Very exciting on the pass as now David Cutmore looks to overtake Estiveros on Oliveira. To the inside he goes, and Stowe, does he make it? No, he does not. Very wiggled there on the brakes, so he has to stay behind.
Going to jump you around. Let's go up to 8th position. This is I Am Keeman, who just made us pass on Skull Bolster, the Lionheart driver, coming over doing a little cross-pollination. Keeman had a mistake earlier. He's trying to make up for that. Bolster has 1.8 seconds to Antonio Pavetta, who is coming and coming quick.
Yeah, Pavetta really has to work now for his stuff down in 10th place. He's probably trying to look for P5, but that's already 10 seconds away in the form of Thomas Knoll.
Let's talk about P5. This is Serpa and Woodstra in a battle for 6th position. Driving away is Thomas Knoll. He's the fastest of the 3. The white car in the middle is Serpa. Woodstra having a nice run. Started in 13th, avoided all the carnage in front of him. Now racing in 7th. Knoll is about 2 seconds behind Marco Sanfilippo, who races in 4th. Bolster can see I Am Keenan. And let's drop back to Scott Bolster now in ninth, because he's told you that Pavetta is coming, and boy, it did not take him long to get there. Now just about a half second back. He should be there before this lap is done. Trying to make up for that mistake. Here he comes.
I don't know why, but Bolster really looks off color, not only because of his car color, but last lap at 25.4 compared to the 22.3 of Pavetta and the 23.4 of I'm Keenan ahead of him.
Should not take long for Pavetta to get through this one. Remember, Pavetta qualified in third position, Bolster in 12th. Pavetta has the pace, assuming his car is good. He has had a couple. We had that bad start, and then he took a trip through the alfalfa. While we look at that battle, there is another one going back on for 11th. We'll check on it in a minute as soon as Pavetta makes this pass, and I think he's going to do it down here into corner number 1. And boy, he blinked away. So now we cannot see Pavetta. Let's go back and take a look at 11th position real quick. This is Oliveira being chased by Cudmore, with Lars Hung hanging in there in 12th. Last car out there racing. Did Thomas Seeger get back out? Nope. Seeger has called it a day.
And Pavetta seems to have run out of internet juice, as he is completely gone. Still not back, so he probably dropped his internet and thus dropped out of the race. So this battle now is for P10, not for P11.
So during the pre-race show, we showed you 2 points graphics. Let's look at this mistake from Cudmore goes off, and that's going to open the door for Lars Hung. Hung goes through. Cudmore falls back into 12th position. We showed you 2 points graphics, the raw points and the drop points. In the raw points, that was led by Thomas Seeger. He's out of the race. In the drop points, that was led by Antonio Pavetta. He's out of the race. Mark Usher was tied with Pavetta. He's leading the race. All right, check back in Stefan in P5.
Yeah, Thomas Snell still leading that battle in front of Jose Zerpa and Erwan Wittström. 3 cars in close proximity of each other, also in lap times wise. Marcus Sanfilippo ahead of them in 4th place is driving ever so slightly away from them, so he has not to fear anything from behind. Strangely enough, Jose Serpa is faster than Thomas Snow, but not able to do anything with his overspeed.
Yeah, I like the race from Woodster back there in car number 7. He's doing a good job. In fact, he's really close to Serpa right now. Going back to this battle at the back of the field. In 10th position, Oliveira. He's got Hung. We're going to look at it again. This is Oliveira going around, I believe, going around Hung. We'll double check on this one. Right on board with Hung, with Oliveira now.
And just a quick report, Jose Serpa just spun out of the battle for P6 because he went too wide, but that also was a very good pass there, or rather battle by these 2 drivers.
Yeah, he had it off on the grass and then he lost it, so that allows Woodster to go through. Noel in 5th now. And Serpa, by the time he got it going, I Am Keenan got to go by Serpa down into 8th position. There is Noel racing in 5th. All this going on behind Mark Usher, who's doing what he's done so far in the only races he's shown up. Dominate. 2.5 seconds up now on Zaviras. Try as the Spaniard did to stay on the back of Usher. He could not. Ross now well off in 2nd. Comfortably in 2nd, though, with Danilo Sanfilippo about 5 seconds back in 3rd.
Yeah, and guess who is still going at it? It's Hung versus Oliveira for that P10. They're still trying to sort that out between them, but that also makes David Cudmore get closer and closer under the rear wing of Lars Hung.
Yep. That's the best battle on the track, back for 10th position. Oliveira, Hung, and Cudmore. Cudmore might be the fastest of them all.
Oh, Keyman really slow ahead. What happened there? That was really slow there. But he gathered it up again and is up to racing speed again, so probably just
yeah, he looped it. He looped it around. Another mistake. He's had several.
And Serpa in the pit lane. That seems to be a scheduled pit stop.
So as Keenman had that loop, Serpa was able to get around, as did Scott Bolster. Keenman comes back out in 8th now, but only about 2.5 seconds ahead of the battle we're looking at of Oliveira, Hung, and Cudmore. Hung drives it in really deep, looking for a way around Oliveira. Best battle on the track. They head down to Vale. That'll be the left-hander. Whoop, let me get caught up there, sorry, as they go into Vale right now. Here we go.
It seems like Lars Hung had a slowdown because he did let David Cudmore by on the hanger straight. Lars Hung was quite slow off throttle even, so I think he had a slowdown. But David Cudmore now on the back of Oliveira.
Cudmore has been working hard. Qualified in 10th. Racing a few spots farther down than he did qualify. We look at that battle. Nothing really going on track. Everyone nicely spaced out. Keenan does have it going again as we ride on board with Oliveira. Looking back at Cudmore. That really shows you the speed. Look at that English guy pushing down on the racetrack. And here's the pass being made right now. Cudmore tried to do it, could not get it done. Oliveira fends them off. I will tell you, just ahead of these guys, in 7th position, it's Bolster. He's not there yet, but I Am Keenan is coming. Keenan's really fast. He's just had a couple miscues. He'll be on the back of Bolster. Won't be too long.
David Cudmore, the faster car in behind yet again. Last lap, about 3/10 difference between Cudmore and Oliveira. But once again, we see someone not being able to do anything with their speed at hand, as Cudmore makes, once again, a small little mistake into Woodcut.
And as we watch the action here, I believe... Do we have an interview here? We do. Let's go ahead and bring Antonio Pavetta in. Antonio Pavetta, internet problem, huh?
Well, computer problem. Yeah, it's been crashing all past 2 days, and yeah, it crashed when we went from practice to quality. So that's why I didn't have time to do a second lap. I didn't have time to complete it, and it was being pole position lap. It was at 19.8 or something like that. But yes, and all type of problems at the start. I was typing and I pressed the I button, which turns off the engine. So, and then I turned it on again, the engine, and as I was nervous, I pressed the pit limiter button, and I started with the pit limiter button. Like, everything went wrong today, and it's a shame because I was looking for Danilo, and I was like in third place, and I think I could have caught him, but yep, it suddenly crashed.
Well, you're doing well so far. You have drop races available, so good luck down the rest of the way. In the little bit of time that you were out there, how did the track feel before we let you go?
It's pretty slow, I must say. Normally this week, quali times were low 19s or mid 19s, and the pole was 20.1. I mean, 19 was achievable, but the track is pretty difficult. And yeah, let's see how it goes now with all the pit stop strategies and all the stuff.
Well, sorry to have you out so early. Thanks for coming in to talk to us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Antonio Pavetta, an early exit for him today. We're looking at this battle for 7th. This is Bolster. Here comes I Am Keenan, and he makes the pass as expected. fairly easy. So move him up into 7th. He now has 11 seconds to get up to Erwin Woodstra. That'll be a tall order.
There he comes, and there he goes.
Yep.
But yeah, to conclude that, just talking about a horrible start, that's even worse than I thought it was for him. So yeah,
a comedy of errors.
Really not the day for Poveda.
Let's go back in 9th position now. Here comes Cudmore one more time. I would sure like David to make this pass, because I think once he gets around Oliveira, he might be able to drive away from him. He seems faster. Lars Hung is just watching the action back in what we like to call the popcorn position. You can see the gap to the leader right up front. Usher over Xavier Ross. We don't need to go there, but you can look at that top line of the graphic. 6 seconds plus. Sanfilippo safe in 3rd. Another Sanfilippo safe in 4th. Thomas Knoll in 5th. No pressure there. The best action, we're looking at it right here now, and that is for 10th position. Got a hunch it's a setup difference here for Cudmore. He seems to be able to stay with Oliveira, but never close enough to make a move. Let's go ahead and stay with him as they work into Stowe. Boy, he's right there. He has good momentum. And he falls off. Gonna give you an interval, all you little soldiers and Clip Support Army. Mark this down, 11.4 seconds. That's the gap between Woodstra in 6th and Keeman in 7th. I believe Keeman is faster. He has 26 laps to close that gap.
Let's actually really quickly compare those lap times in audio. Here, Erwin Woodstra with 22.181 versus 21.7944. I'm Keeman, so he's about 3 times faster than Erwin Woodstra, so he will get there sooner or later.
Woodstra, your next to last qualifier, qualified 13th. In fact, of all the drivers who put in qualifying times, his was the slowest. Oliveira did not put in a time. All right. Cudmore is going to make this pass here. He's been behind him for quite a while. 26 laps to go. There is a pit stop. They head down into Stowe. Three-car battle. Oliveira, Cudmore, and Hung. There you see Hung, the 3rd car in line.
Yeah, Cudmore is still faster than Oliveira, but it's diminishing that gap between the two speed-wise. Last lap 42 at 23.3594 for Oliveira and at 23.307 for Cudmore. So he is still faster, but not by very much anymore.
We're going to look at our well, what I believe is going to be when we look at the drop race points, Mark Usher is going to be at the front. And that's why we show you both of these, because if we only showed you the net points, you wouldn't know that Usher is in the real hunt here for the championship. 3 for 3 if he gets the win today. And honestly, if you win enough, you can afford to even take a 0 in your score if you're that dominant. 6 or 7 wins, probably enough to get you the championship, even with a 0. Xavier Ross, though, doing what he does in 2nd, and that is just get points. Doesn't have a win so far, but looking to pick up another good finish. We talk about Ross. What has he done so far this season? Well, if I look at this real quick, he's got himself a 3rd, a 2nd, and a 3rd, but he also has mixed in there an 11th, a 16th, and a 19th.
Let me have a look here real quick between Aaron Woodstrand to keep you updated with that
Oh,
gap.
Xavier Ross just sputtered. Maybe we can take a quick peek at that. He just lost a little bit of time. It happened right as we were talking, so we don't have to go too far back. Oh, we saw it live. That's great.
Yeah, we were actually on him. And the thing is, I'm Keyman. He spun himself also last lap, so he lost about 5 seconds to Woodstrand.
Here we go. Just watch the hands. Just a little mistake there. He gets it going.
Yeah, a bit too quick, a bit too hard on the throttle. Easy mistake with these cars. So, yeah, just a little mistake from Ross, which leads Danilo Sanfilippo to get closer to him. But Xavier Ross is faster on a lap-to-lap basis than Danilo Sanfilippo, so he will drive again away from the Palermo driver.
Yeah, just to follow up on the point you just made about Keeman, he must have made another mistake because he has lost about 4 or 5 seconds on Woodstrand.
Also, Thomas Knoll made a mistake 2 laps ago with a 26 to his name, so Thomas Knoll, he is getting caught by Aaron Woodstrand. Even last lap, that gap did decrease by 7/10.
So we talk about the rest of the drivers in the field. We ride on board right now with Sanfilippo. You can see actually we're on with Noel looking up at Sanfilippo, I believe. We're on Sanfilippo. Okay, looking up at Danilo Sanfilippo.
Actually, we are looking at Danilo Sanfilippo. It's a bit hard to catch these two guys. Same livery, the only difference is the color of their helmet. Green for Danilo and a yellowish color for Marco. But as you can see, the car of Xavier Ross ahead of Danilo is getting smaller and smaller. Last lap, 4/10 in favor of Xavier Ross.
Let's go back in and check in on Oliveira and Cudmore. Stefan, Oliveira beginning to pull away a bit. And Cudmore's not there.
Cudmore had a mistake somewhere. It was at Abbey. The Abbey chicane just took it too deep into the corner and chose to take it through the grass and the gravel trap, losing the position to Lars Hang.
Yeah, he was going to make a move. He just got a little bit desperate. Looked to the inside. That didn't work, and then he got a little bit out of sync.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Aaron Woodstrand, he did catch up by 1 second to Thomas Knoll in the last lap. So they are getting closer. Current interval, 1.6 seconds.
Now, yeah, so we're looking at Danilo and a battle here with Ross.
That's actually Marco Sanfilippo now behind Ross, because Ross made another mistake. Danilo Sanfilippo already passed.
Ross spins about another half spin again. Danilo Sanfilippo goes by, and as Stefan just talked about, that is the trailing Sanfilippo of Marco. So that's a battle now for third. We ride on board with Xavier Ross. Here's the mistake again. Give him credit, it's another half spin. He doesn't loop it all the way around. Aaron Woodstrand has decided to come in and make a pit stop as we look at this battle as Xavier Ross tries to get that spot back now. As Woodstrand comes out, Ross is ahead of Marco Sanfilippo and about 3 seconds behind Danilo.
Yeah, and Aaron Woodstrand really lucky they're not getting overtaken by Oliveira. That would have been quite the time loss for him if he would have had to overtake Oliveira again. But like that, he can continue with his speed. The next car up on the road for Woodstrand is Scott Bolster, and he is about 5 seconds thereabouts ahead of Woodstrand.
So Woodstra, the leader of all the cars who have pitted. Now, right behind them, that is Oliveira and the battle with Cudmore. Cudmore made the mistake, and of course, he's gathered them up again because we think Cudmore is faster. There was a third driver in this mix. That was Lars Hung. Lars has taken a pit stop, which might be a good thing. We'll see if he's going to be faster than these guys when it comes out. Let's go ahead and look at Marco Sanfilippo again, continuing to chase Xavi Ross.
And I have to say, Xavi Ross really not looking good right now. He has really hurt his tires, and you can see it. The car very unstable, moving a lot around under him. So this car not a happy race car right now.
So with Ross's mistake, Danilo Sanfilippo moves up into second position, about 18, almost 19 seconds behind Mark Usher. Scott Bolster making a pit.
So that means Aaron Woodstra has clear track ahead of him.
Usher comes in as well.
Let's see if Danilo Sanfilippo goes past and takes lead, or if Usher stays in the lead. No, Danilo Sanfilippo goes past. Probably Usher pitting because of the traffic he was running up to. Xavi Ross and Marco Sanfilippo also pit, continue on the race. Thomas Knoll, the next car to pit. So 2 cars in the pit lane at this point as Mark Usher exits pit lane.
Knoll is in. Woodstra is working through priority right now, heading into Brooklands.
Quick update, I am Keyman once again with a spin into pit lane, and he immediately also takes it to the pit lane. So really not the race of I am Keyman either.
Let's go ahead and look at Woodstra and Knoll. This is going to be interesting. Knoll is just coming out. Woodstra is full steam. And Knoll is out about 2 seconds. That gap is going to close a little bit as Woodstra continues to have some momentum. Knoll comes out in 5th right now with Woodstra right behind him. Then there is this battle between Oliveira and Cudmore. Both of these drivers still need to make a stop. They are racing Lars Hung, who is on the other side of the track right now. Hung is 34 seconds behind Oliveira. Cudmore has been trying. He's been poking, he's been prodding, he's been making mistakes every time he does it, but he's faster. Just cannot find his way around Oliveira. Xavi Ross is in.
I'm actually surprised Xavi Ross did drive for as long as he did on these tires. As said, he was really hurting on them, sliding around quite a lot, having to fight the car more than the track. But at last he comes into pit lane, and let's see what he can do.
Danilo Sanfilippo is just going into Stowe right now. I think that's the guy that he's going to try to get out in front of if possible. And he is out. All right, so we're waiting for Danilo. Danilo and Marco have yet to make their stop.
I just want to talk real quick about Woodstra versus Knoll, as it's kind of interesting how Woodstra, the undercut, did not work at all for him, even though he had more speed. The gap did stay the same before compared to after the pit stop, pretty much the same that they were apart. But now with the draft that Woodstra has, he really closes in on Thomas Knoll, only about 8/10 now between the two.
So this is a battle for 5th between Knoll and Woodstra. About 3 seconds back is the battle between Oliveira and Cudmore, but those two drivers still need to make a stop. Our two leaders are the Sanfilippo boys, who are running long.
Yeah, they are once again past the pit lane, as I'm Keyman is once again in pit lane. As he's gonna come out in clear traffic, so he's not gonna hold up anyone with his pit exit. As we're still focusing on the blue car of Thomas Knoll.
We look at Sanfilippo. That is Danilo. Now he has 31 seconds on Xavi Ross. That's his big competition to get out in front of. Mark Usher is easily going to blow by. Usher is only back by about 9 seconds, and Usher's already made his pit stop. Danilo and Marco separated by about four seconds. So Xavi Ross is out there right now on new rubber trying to do the best he can. We continue to wait for Woodstra and Oliveira to make their stops. Woodra and Oliveira and the Sanfilippo boys are the only 4 drivers still needing to come in.
And I'm expecting them to come in this or next lap, as actually Sanfilippo comes
Here
in.
he comes.
Danilo. Marco drives around one more time, so...
Stay out. Okay, let's pick up Xavi Ross. Mark Usher will easily go by. Ross through bridge right now.
Yeah, going through Prauchi now. Next up is Brooklands, the left-hander, where the new Grand Prix track joins this layout. Through Luffield he goes very long, very slow, right-hand hairpin. Woodcut the last turn.
Danilo rolling.
And seems like Danilo is able to stay ahead of Xavi Ross, but it is closing in.
Yeah, now that interval about 2 seconds. Which tells me that I think that both Danilo Sanfilippo and Xavi Ross should easily get Marco Sanfilippo when he makes his stop. Okay, Cudmore is in. Oliveira stays out. I'd like to go ahead and pick up Lars Hung if we can. Hung came in early. He was watching those 2 race ahead of him. Cudmore and Oliveira. Hung now working his way through Luffield, getting out onto the main straight.
Cudmore is off the pit stall. Off the pit limiter now too. Where is Hung? Coming out of Woodcut, so...
Yep.
Cudmore jumping.
Yeah, getting out well, yeah.
As Marco Sanfilippo comes into pit lane. Mark Usher obviously easily getting past the current leader. So Mark Usher back to the lead.
Now Danilo Sanfilippo, look at this as Ross has really closed it down even on that out lap. As they come to the start-finish line right now, I think they're going to get both of these guys should get Marco. Marco beginning to roll. He might get out. There they go. There goes 1. There goes 2.
Yeah, quite interesting how the undercut didn't really work for anyone over compared to the overcut. But Marcus Sanfilippo, due to the 1 lap he did extra, he really lost time to his brother and Xavi Ross.
Boy. All right, now Oliveira finally comes in, so we have 1 more pit exit to look at. That's going to be Oliveira in relationship to Cudmore. We thought Cudmore was faster the whole race. He's had 1 lap to be faster right now as he gets out onto the main straight. Oliveira is rolling. This is going to be close. I think Cudmore's going to get him. Here he comes. And see you later. There's the undercut for you. Cudmore now up on Oliveira. And I'm going to just assume that Cudmore should be able to drive away. The big battle now is P2. This is Stefan Ross is faster than Danilo Sanfilippo.
Yeah, exactly, and it's probably only a matter of time until Xavi Ross gets past here. Last lap, 6/10 between the two. So once Xavi Ross got on his new tires, he got his pace back, so it really shows that he was just incredibly hurting on his tires. Just going to the critical lap where he thinks he can pit. And here he comes now, easy over.
Oh! Danilo, not sure if he picked the lane there.
Danilo did pick his lane, but because Xavi Ross was going left and right, he just put himself into that spot there pretty much. But Xavi Ross now passed it through Stowe.
All right. Xavi, it's 21 seconds up to Mark Usher. Good luck. You got 14 laps to do it. Let's go back to 5th position. Here's another case of I think the faster driver is doing the chasing. This is Thomas Knoll and Erwin Woodstra. How about Woodstra? Qualified in 13th. What a run he's having. Noel, a really quiet race up in 5th. Look at Woodruff get the line that he wants. Riding off the wing of the driver in 5th, looking at the pursuer. Best battle on the track right now. They work down through Chapel on the long hanger straight heading to Stowe.
Kraft coming in very late for
There he
Woodstrom,
comes.
but he closes in. Not gonna be able to do anything. An update. Oh, I was close.
Oh, that's some interesting
There
line.
he
Look at
goes.
this. He got him.
There he goes. Yeah, one thing I want to say real quick. Xavi Ross, he's not getting away from Danilo Sanfilippo and also Marco Sanfilippo. He's also closing in on that battle for P2, so that might get interesting very soon too.
Yeah, look at that. We thought that Ross would drive away. He did not.
To be fair, he is starting to make mistakes again, so that really does also help Danilo to stay with him.
We look at that 3-car battle coming at you. I can report that once Woodstra got around Noel, he started to gap him a bit. So right now, let's stay with this battle up front. All this going on 23 seconds behind Mark Usher, looking to go 3 for 3. Mark Usher missed last season's championship by a single digit. Again, attendance his Achilles heel.
So the question is, will the Sanfilippo guys do perform a multi-21, or will Danilo fight for his P3?
Ross now beginning to get back in rhythm as he starts to distance himself. Xavi Ross is his own worst enemy today with mistake after mistake after mistake. With that settling down a little bit, Director, how about a quick little love for 7th place driver? Haven't talked much about Jose Serpa. Having a quiet run. All by himself, 27 seconds behind Noel for 6th, and about 10 seconds up on Scott Bolster. I'm not sure we've seen Serpa get past or make a pass. Now, we talked about Bolster, though. Bolster's just out there being really clean, not the fastest driver on the track, and once Cudmore got around Olivier, he's able to make a run here on Bolster.
Yeah, he's about 7/10 faster than Bolster, so a bit more of overspeed there for Cudmore than he had with Oliveira. But
Yeah, Oliveira back by 5 seconds now.
let's see, last lap's actually 22.9 for Cudmore, and Scott Bolster with a 23.4, so 5/10 in between those two guys as they now go through Maggots, Backheads, and here comes Chapel.
Riding on board with Cudmore.
Able to do something down the hanger straight. Draft is plentiful, but not enough for Cudmore to get alongside.
Don't need to go there, but I just want to point out that Oliveira is being run down by Lars Hung. Remember Hung? He was watching these guys race. He made that early stop. Let's stay on this battle, though. Bolster and Cudmore a little closer than what's happening behind him. I got one eye on Ross and Sanfilippo, another one on Bolster and Cudmore, and my third eye on Oliveira and Hung.
Well, your third eye sees that Mark Usher is going to split that battle for PL10 because he's right behind Lars Hung. So that's gonna be split up for a moment until Mark Usher is past that battle.
This will be interesting. Usher coming up between two cars battling for position. Mark can afford to be as patient as he needs to right now. Good job from Hung. He gets out of the way, lets Usher go by. Lars can tuck in behind, maybe learn a little bit. Now he's coming up as they work on the hanger straight. Usher too far back to make a move, or is he? Nope, he gets him.
Next up for him will be the battle for P8 between David Cudmore and Scott Bolster, who are still very close together. But David Cudmore just not able to do any moves on Scott Bolster because Scott Bolster just problem-free through all the turns that are important right now.
I'll tell you, Cudmore has spent more time trying to get around people this race than any driver out here. All this going on. Boy, I'm telling you, the battle for second is heating up as well.
Yeah, once again, because of Xavier Ross making a mistake through Stowe.
We got to go and take a look at this one. You know, you're right, Stefan. I'm not sure if Sanfilippo is able to make the pass on Ross. Unless Ross makes another mistake. That's why it's so hard to watch. Because it happens. That's me snapping my fingers just like that.
Yeah, and as I said, that's exactly the problem. Xavier Ross is faster, much faster than Danilo Sanfilippo. As you can see, he's already again driving away. But he just makes so many mistakes that Danilo Sanfilippo is able to stay with him because of that fact. But because he is the slower car in behind, he's not able to make any moves because Xavier Ross just is that much faster out of the turns that lead onto the straights, which are the passing opportunities here.
8 laps to go. Even though Mark Usher, what they call in NASCAR, is stinking up the show, it has been an exciting race. There's a lot of drama going on in the other positions. Big names having trouble today. Antonio Pavetta and Thomas Seeger, both with trouble. Honestly, Xavier Ross has had his share of trouble as well, but he's able to overcome it in second. The battles we were looking at earlier, they are still there. Bolster being chased by Cudmore. Let's go to that right now. I really think Cudmore is getting to close in on Bolster here as they work through the technical section. As they get here to the hanger straight, let's see if Cudmore makes a stab at it. He might be too far back.
Cudmore tried to set it up, but he missed the apex by a little bit.
Oh! Boy, he's still working on it. He had him. Not finished the show.
Yeah, I want to say because of that, he's not able to do anything on Scott Bolster. He got alongside, but he had to brake, or he did brake quite early. So Scott Bolster on the outside with the higher speed, able to stay ahead and Cudmore with the mistake now.
And there goes Mark Usher by. Usher's got to be happy that that battle broke up there. It's going to be a little easier to get through those guys. But take a look at this on board with Cudmore. Don't worry, he still has 7 laps. He's fast enough to get back to Bolster. I give Scott a lot of credit, Stefan. He's just out there and just racing a smooth race, not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, you don't always need to be the fastest to gain positions, and Scott Bolster showing that he gained 4 positions to start and was right now in 8th. So Scott Bolster, even though he's not the fastest, he is making up positions and not losing anything.
Alright, let's check back into this battle up here with Ross being chased by a pair of Sanfilippos.
And
here comes
once
Marco.
Again, last lap, Xavier Ross made a mistake, Danilo Sanfilippo did catch up again, and Marco Sanfilippo, he is still very close in behind.
Yeah. I think Marco might be the faster of the two San Filipos there. Marco qualified in 4th, Danilo in 6th. Both of them sit on the top 5 graphic for raw points. And this is going to help them today as Thomas Seeger had trouble. All this going on behind Mark Usher. Usher was able to negotiate his way around Scott Bolster. 5 laps to go. Not sure if Usher's going to find any more lap traffic to deal with between now and the checkered flag. 7 cars on the lead last, the last one being Jose Serpa. We continue to look at this battle. For second, actually for third, they're the two San Filipos.
This time around, Xavi Ross faster by probably about, actually just 6/10. Bit surprised there, I thought it's going to be more.
Can we get a replay of Erwin Woodstra? He just made a big mistake. Bounced the car. I think he might have damaged the car. This one is a big one. Watch the car bunny hop here.
Let's see, I'm going to watch that with you guys. It actually is happening at Brooklands. So we're already past that incident for him.
Oh, that was maybe my fault there. We'll try one more time, see if we can get it.
Actually, we're also on the wrong car. We're on Oliveira and not on Woodstra.
Let's come back live. Because
Yeah.
Woodstra, after the damage now, he's going to lose the spot to Thomas Knoll.
He most definitely did damage his underfloor.
Yeah, he made a mistake, bounced it over the curb. It was ugly. And now Knoll's going to vulture that spot.
Look at how gingerly Woodstra has to be on the throttle here on the inside of Club. And there goes Thomas Knoll on the outside. Actually, no, Woodstra comes back on the brake.
Alright, Knoll will have to try again. Leaders come across. He has 4 to go. Let's stay on this battle here. It's always scary when you're fighting a wounded animal.
See how long they have to wait on the throttle, but here comes Knoll now.
Oh! I thought he had the line to the inside and maybe a little bit of a drift from Woodstra. Not sure if Knoll picked up any damage.
Woodstra
and he got the pass made.
Yeah, I think Woodstra was a bit sorry there about the contact because he did pull a little bit late to the right there.
Yeah, he did. Back up to the Battle of the San Filipos. Marco's coming. Let's see how hard Danilo makes it on Marco. We've never had the opportunity to talk to them in an interview. We are assuming that they are brothers.
Xavi Ross continuing to drive away now from that battle, but he is prone to spins and mistakes, so he might be getting reeled in again if he continues with his mistakes, but at the point he is continuing to drive away with that P2.
Two evenly paced cars right there, the Danilo and Marco Sanfilippo. Marco coming though. He's got to run. Good looks to the inside. Don't think there's going to be much fight back from Danilo. There's the pass made. I think, can he close it out? He does. Let's move Marco up into third now.
Oh, I am Kieman ahead of them, spun yet again through Club. Spins once again to the inside. A red car. You're able to see him on the bottom of your screen there.
Let's go back to 8th position. As David Cudmore says, I'm back. Again, faster than Bolster. About a half second back. Cudmore's an impressive driver, but he's got to work on his passing skills a little bit. He's good. He has a hard time getting around guys. Boy, he has really had a tough race. Bolster taking a kind of a defensive line into Stoll. Here's come Cudmore.
Yeah, Cudmore, I would be really interested in seeing what setup he's running, because as soon as he gets to faster corners like Maggot's Beckett and also Stowe, he really suffers from understeer because of the aero wash. So it seems like that David Cudmore not running enough downforce or not having enough mechanical grip
There you
to
go.
play for his loss of aero downforce.
Our leader out of the final corner, looking at the white flag now. Looking to go 3 for 3. He's got 27 seconds on Xavi Ross. Ross comfortably in second. I say comfortably until the Spaniard makes another mistake. But he only has one more lap to get done. Once Marco Sanfilippo got around Danilo, Marco was able to drive away. Danilo in fourth. Thomas Knoll safe in fifth. Woodsher limping that car around. He's got 27 seconds on Jose Serpa. Don't think Serpa's going to get to him. We'll go look at this again. Here comes Cudmore on the back of Bolster. We have time to watch this one. Our leader, Usser, just down into club right now. This is the best battle on the track. These two drivers, the first car's one lap down. Their race will actually end this lap. All right, Usher now into the technical section. Just got the right-hander to go. Through Luffield. Round number 7 of the Batteries Not Included 2019 Spring Season Championship goes to Mark Usher. He's 3 for 3 this season. Xavi is comfortable working through the technical section. He will pick up yet another good points day. He comes around and gets second. As I mentioned this, Evan Woodstra has had a spin. I'm not sure if that's going to cost him a position to Serpa. I think he's still going to be safe. Sanfilippo. Marco will get third. Danilo will get fourth. And we look there at, they go through, let's double check and see where Cudmore finished in relationship to Bolster. Bolster was able to hold him off as those cars were one lap down. Everybody has finished. Woodstra will come across in 6th position. Ahead of Serpa, I believe, yes. And as those two drivers wrap up their final lap, we'll take a short break here. But don't go far. We'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Global Sim Racing channel on the iRacing Esports Network. Back in a few. Streaming cyberspace into your place via the iRacing Esports Network. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Batteries Not Included 2019 Spring Season Championship, round number 7, here from Silverstone. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. 14 drivers took the grid. I'll take the top 7. Mark Usher, he's raced 3 races so far this season. He's won them all. He gets the win today, winning by an impressive 27 seconds over Xavi Ross. Ross was the second fastest car out there. Despite lots of mistakes, he was able to get the spot he deserves as he gets second. Marco Sanfilippo got around his brother Danilo for the final podium spot. Thomas Noel, a quiet run for 5th. Erwin Woodster had some mistakes. And the last car on the lead lap, a very quiet run from Jose Serpa. Stefan?
Another very quiet run. Scott Bolster started in 12th position, finishes in 8th. David Cutmore comes home in 9th place. Top 10 are rounded out by Esteverson Oliveira. Lars Hang, the last car to finish the race, in 11th place. Actually, Ab Kiman also finished down in 12th. The 2 cars not to see the checkered flag are Antonio Ortiz Poveda and Thomas Ziga.
Okay, we're going to get an opportunity to talk to the driver who finished. Where did he finish? Erwin Woods finished on the lead lap in 6th position.
Yes, I did.
Erwin, congratulations. It was an eventful race for you.
Yeah, starting in the back of the field and then climbing to P5 or P6, I should say. Then trying to make an undercut, realizing it didn't work. Then second stint was slower than the first one, didn't have the pace in that one. And then I overtook, got in top 5, and then curbs happened, and me downshifting into first gear instead of second. Yeah.
Oh, is that what happened?
We don't talk. We don't talk about that.
We saw you bounce that thing over the curb. It's lucky that the car stayed in the right direction there. That's what cost you the position at the end.
Yeah, it was in the end. I did it once before. I actually accidentally went into first gear there instead of second. I saved it that time, but the second time I didn't and hit the curb. And, hey, that's the sky. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. 13th in qualifying. Was that your pace, or were you just didn't get a good qualifying run in?
No, I literally signed up 5 minutes before the race without any practice. So I just grabbed the set and I just ran the laps with on the race set and to get a feel for the car and everything. Just trying to see what my pace was, what the car was doing, and just working around with it.
Well, you put on a good show anyway. It was fun to watch a race. It was exciting. Mark Usher ran away with it, but you guys, as farther back, made it interesting for the viewers. Good job. Congratulations on the lead lap finish in 6th. We'll see you down the road.
Yeah. See you later. Bye.
Erwin Woodstra. Good interview. Good interview from him. All right, Steph, who you got? Oh, that's it. We're done. Nobody's going to come and talk to us. All right. With that said, we are done. We'd like to thank everybody in the Williams iRacing community, especially Clayton McLeod, for organizing this series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. On screen now are just some of the companies that provide the software and hardware GSRC uses to stream cyberspace into your place. Additional thanks to Juna Lawn, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen to how to get in contact with how to contact her for her music. Batteries Not Included will return in 1 week. That's round 8 from Interlagos. GSRC and IESN will be there to bring you all the action. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, try GlobalSimRacingChannel.com, Twitter GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. If you haven't done so yet, become a GSRC YouTube subscriber by heading over to our YouTube page and hitting that big red button. All the upcoming races for the other series are listed on your screen right now, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar so you don't miss a thing on GSRC. Finally, on behalf of the crew, that would be Stefan, Sean, and Dougie. I'd like to thank all of you for watching as we saw Mark Usher win his 3rd race of the season in as many attempts here from round 7 at Silverstone. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.